as in general public about um, cultural conservation. So I'm a long time forefront warrior of sustainable heritage development. His journey started with the restoration of a 180 years old chicken farm into a modern, well furnished, traditional, resilient, and attractive medieval building known as Namuna Ghar or Model House. For this very first project, he was awarded Asia Pacific Awards for Cultural Heritage Conservation by UNESCO in 2004, and since then he has been continuously dedicating his life in cultural conservation in all ways, or like in every possible ways, be it through restoring old buildings of ancient cities like Panauti, Bhaktapur, etc., or by training youths in arts and crafts and empowering them. His foundation, Rabindra Puri Foundation for Conservation, established in 2010, has a number of initiatives, and the list of projects registered in his name and completed successfully with awe and inspiration goes on and on. Actually, when I was trying to prepare this brief profile to read out before I start the program to all of you, um, about Mr. Rabindra Puri, I was like really confused what to include and what not to, because the list is really, really long. And I think he has set us a benchmark for all the youth, especially who are those in building industry or in construction sector or in cultural conservation sector, to look up to him. And then, but then I think we will still not be able to meet up that benchmark. So I think it's better that we just start the program and start listening to him rather than trying to brief and or summarize it. But before that, I would like to request all our participants to type type the questions or curiosities if they have any. And we are also thinking that this time we can allow we will allow the participants to ask the questions directly to Mr. Ravindra sir. So if you any of you are interested to ask any questions, you simply raise your hand. I think there's an option in Zoom where you can raise your hand, and our technician will allow you to ask the question. I think that's it for now. So yes, a very warm welcome to you, sir, and you please take this session forward. The floor is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pratigya-ji. So, namaskar to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Pratigya Raut and also the Aankura team for giving me this opportunity. I haven't talked since long, since the lockdown. I didn't have a platform to tell about my projects and about me. So this is the first, even during the lockdown. So I am really very thankful to you all. And I also would like to thank all the participants who are here despite their busy schedule. Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Pratigya Raut, for all your good words. Okay, I only want to object one thing, that I started also with zero. No? So I want to encourage you and all the participants. I mean, if you start something wholeheartedly, you can really achieve a lot. No? And so it's not only me, even you all can do more than me, I believe. So without wasting time, I would like to start. I have prepared a small presentation, so I would like to start with this presentation, and then we can, I hope we can have a very nice interaction later on. So okay, I have listed a few of my works in this presentation, but that doesn't mean that it's limited to that. I mean, if you know also other projects, and if you want to ask other questions, you are most welcome. So may I start with the presentation?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you all see this?
No.
Yes, now? No? My screen?
Did you share the screen?
Yeah, I have already shared it. I think you have to allow me to share it, the host.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Now we can see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for the nice subject, reviving sustainability and identity, and which is really, our the Newari architecture as well as our Nepalese architecture is really a sustainable architecture, and of course, this is our identity. We can really be proud of it, because if we had done a competition at that time in Middle Age, and even if we do a competition of the architecture from Middle Age, which are existing now, I'm sure that we will be in the top 10. But unfortunately, this was forgotten, and yeah, we couldn't recognize what valuable cultural heritage we have. I did my best, so I just want to take you through my journey. No, I would call it my journey through conservation. And so the most asked question is, what is my motivation? No? So my motivation was actually destruction. So I couldn't see all these. When I see these things, my heart was always weeping. So look at this is the best pasuka here. This is best pasuka here, and which is in Kirtipur, and so you can see the condition, how it is. It must have been a Dioche, or must have been a shrine, but now it's in between. It's already privatized. So you can see this was a very beautiful house, and it was divided between two brothers. The left one is from the rich brother, which you can see now in cemented one, and the poor brother is still living in the beautiful old house. And you can see, this used to be a 3 windows, and how mercilessly they were dividing it. So all these things I couldn't see, and that's why I left my very well paid job, and I bought a poultry farm in Bhaktapur, which is now famous as Namunagar, but it was like that when I bought that house. So you can imagine, what people must have thought about me. This was 20 years ago. So I left my job, and I bought this poultry farm where, these were the inhabitants of that house. And so at that time, everyone thought that I have gone mad. No, I haven't even demolished this house, and I started to restore it. You can see, the weak part of the house was demolished, and using same materials. You can see the workers who are cleaning and reusing the materials. And in the behind, you can see that the house was not demolished. Only the weak part were demolished, and so then it was restored. So by using same materials, same windows, and that's how it looks now. And so I welcome all the participants to visit this house. And so this was a poultry farm once upon a time. So thanks God, this was my first project, and it already became the talk of the town. When people saw this house, and they used to say, "Oh, it looks like an old lady has got younger." So that's what I got the compliment at that time. And yeah, as Pratikya ji has already mentioned, so I had the honor to be the first Nepali to win the UNESCO award for this house in 2004. And then, so these are some of my projects. So you must have seen the multi college in Balwatar, which used to be cow shed and the horse stable. So this also I restore, and in between this is the multi college now. And these are some of my projects. Even Shivalaya like this in Shaku, without throwing any material, we reuse the materials, and so now it looks like when it was before in Middle Age. This is the before and after. And I don't know if you have heard about Tony Hagen House. This used to be cemented house related with Tony Hagen. So I bought that house as well, and I converted it into traditional style. You know? So that's how it was, and that's how it looks now. So these are some of my other projects. So I want to mention a few of my new construction in traditional style. So this is um, it's going to be an Ayurvedic spa. You can see built like anyone would build in the village with mud and stone. But you can see here, you know, this normally this would have been the wooden tie beam, but here I have experimented a bit of RCC, and so you can see, you know, this is a house made out of wood, stone, and mud, and nothing happened in the last earthquake in 2015. So this is an example. If you use our traditional technology properly, then you know we can build our house earthquake resist. Now, so this is another house in Bhaktapur called Bashuki Ghar, and here again all the bricks what you see here, they were recycled, you know, and also the most of the windows and doors are also the old one which were recycled. And so I would like to mention one more my project, my dream project. So I'm trying to build one model community school in every district. You know, so this in between I have already done 16 schools, and what we do is we always use local resources. So not only the materials, also the human resource. You know? So this guy is our best guy, I would say. You know, he makes only the cornerstone, but he has only one hand, which you can see here. It's really unbelievable. No, so I'm not only using local materials, but also a lot of local human resources. So, I mean, so these schools are built in very remote areas of Nepal. So when they see this school, they in the beginning they say it must be a palace or it must be a resort or restaurant, whatever. No, but thanks God, these are not resorts. These are the schools for the poor students of the village. And these schools are so cheap, you just can't imagine, because we use totally or as much as possible local materials and local human resources, and that's how it becomes cheap, and that's the only sustainable way to do the things. And like for example, here you can see these are the slate roofs, so which was a tradition in this village. This is in Thambesi of Nawalparasi, a Magar village, and so we revived even their traditional way of building here. So this is I don't know if you have heard about my model village in Shanga. So this is the view from the model village, and this is how we were constructing the houses over there, and so that's how it looks, and we are planning to build 50 houses like that. So that's how it looks from inside. So this was again another example of the earthquake. So that's how it looked. It's a area called Goche in Bhaktapur. That's how it looked before the earthquake, and after the earthquake, it looked like this. And the authorities were almost demolishing all these houses with the excavators, but we succeeded to stop them, and so we helped the community to demolish this house systematically. That means we saved every piece of brick of these houses. So so it was looking very dangerous, but still we took the risk and we saved. So you can see this tin over there where every piece of brick we were bringing down. So, and I think no one would do that. How we were, and these are our students from our vocational schools, which I'm going to mention you later on. So what I wanted to say is, that it used to be like that. In after every earthquake, they used to reuse or recycle the materials, but this time, unfortunately, not. So, but we tried our best, and we you know so you can see here, every piece of brick we were taking away like that, to save them, and every piece of window, every piece of wood, we save them, we number them, and we um, store them systematically, and so that's how it looks, unfortunately, now, and that's how it was before. But we are dreaming of reconstructing the whole area in the same way, using the same materials. So that's our dream, and so we have already started with 2 houses, and we hope that we will be able to reconstruct that place once again like this. So this is another example which I would also like to mention to you. This is a very remote area of the Sindhu Palchok called Tempathang. We have to walk uh, 2 days from Gumbathang, and so we brought all the carpenters and masons from that village, and we trained them in our vocational school in Panauti for 6 weeks, and we trained them how to build stone, mud, and wood houses, earthquake resist. And and then we train them in Panauti, and so this is again back in Tempathang in Sindupalchuk, and so they have already constructed more than 10 houses like this, and they are continuously uh, reconstructing their houses in traditional style by using local materials, local human resources. So that would have been a sustainable way, but unfortunately, um, it's also didn't happen much. So this is again another project in Cabri. That's how it looked after the earthquake, and uh, we proposed um, our um, our plan or program. This is earthquake resist, Nepali style, of course, and affordable. So the mud, wood, and stone, you can actually get it everywhere in Nepal. So if we would have reconstructed our houses in our style, or let's say Nepali style, or in Nepali way, which we used to do, uh, all these villages would have been the tourist destination later on. No? But unfortunately, not even 1% of the houses we could reconstruct in traditional style. So this, and we were showing these houses which were not damaged at all from the earthquake. So these houses are built out of mud, stone, and wood, and yeah, it became earthquake resist. So this is again another house made out of mud, wood, and stone in Shanga, which was also not affected by the earthquake. So we were showing these houses as our example, and that's how so this is our technology. So this is we call it chukul, and they play such a vital role in the earthquake. So here you can see how our ancestors used to put the tie beam, and how they used to interconnect the uh, so here you can see even clearly. So that's how it used to be, the tie beam made out of wood. So the chupuls are really a fascinating thing for the earthquake. So what I also want to mention is, for the Kastamand, all the technical part of Kastamanda were also done by us, and we were the one who saved the Singadarwar. They were also about to demolish. It's really ridiculous, and but thanks God we succeed to save it, and this is also being retrofitted now. And my another dream project is the Panauti. We are even So you can see here by year 2030, Panoti should be a town only with traditional architecture. And so we are doing three things over there now. So like the old houses like this, we have been restoring them. And that's how it looks after the restoration. So this is the before and after picture. And this is again another house called Motanche. So we didn't demolish it. You can see we also restore and beautify this building now. So this is again before. That's how it looks from inside, and this is again before and after photo. So so that means we are saving the old ones and the new ones. So we build a new house here, but also in traditional style. That's how it looks. We call it kunche, as it is in the corner. And we have been also beautifying ugly building like this. So this is an old library in Panoti, and without demolishing this building, we have retrofitted it and also beautified it in traditional style. So you can see again the before and after. So this is how we are transferring our traditional knowledge to the young generation. This is our first vocational school in Panoti, where we have been training wood carving, and so I mean, this is really amazing what these young people can do. So and it has already made us sustainable, because what they are producing, we have been selling them. You know? So this is really amazing what these young people are learning over there. So this is our stone carving training, which is also in Panoti. And so we have been also training the young people for the metal casting as well. And we so as our vocational school in Panoti was overcrowded, we have also started now another vocational school. Our capacity in Panoti was 65 students per year. So this is a new building where we can train every year 200 students. So as we are talking about the identity, so this also I would like to mention the Museum of Stolen Art. So you can see in the left hand side how, you know, the you know, it's really heartbreaking how they have caught the head and stolen. No? So and in the right hand side you can see the replicas. So we are producing 50 replicas of very important and valuable sculptures, and the sculptures which can tell us a good story. So we are producing 50 replicas at the moment, and we are creating this museum also in Panoti. And you know, so it's not going to be the exhibition of the replicas. This, you know, when any Nepali goes in this museum, their heart must weep. So that's our target, and I think we will achieve our target also in this museum. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that was really inspiring and enriching. Actually, how many projects are going on right now, sir, currently?
You know, before
I lost the track actually, so that's why I'm asking
actually,
you again.
okay, you are right. You know, we have been doing really a lot, and we recently also celebrated the 10-year of our foundation. You know, and in this on the day of our anniversary, 10th anniversary, I committed three things. So one is, in my lifetime I want to do 1,000 constructions. No, I in between I have already reached more than 100. And the second thing is I would like to employ 1,000 people. So at the moment it's between 200 and 300 at the moment. So that's my second 1,000. And third 1,000 is we would like to train every year 1,000 young people. No, we want to make them skilled so that you know, they can get a job immediately, as is happening at the moment. No, so our training is actually job guaranteed training. So this is so in 10th anniversary, yeah, I have target of 3 times 1,000.
We pray that may God wish all your. I mean, may God grant you all your wishes. You said like you want to, like your training is the kind in which it is like job guaranteed.
Yeah.
So like how many youths are being trained or like are being graduated from your vocational academy every year? And
Okay, we started our vocational school in Panoti in 2015. So in between, um, yeah, I guess more than 200 skilled workers are already uh, graduated from our vocational school.
still, but there is like when it comes to craftsmanship, it is still expensive. I mean, do you feel like there is being enough market for whatever they are producing or whatever they are doing?
Yes, yes. I mean, okay. I can't say it luckily because we started our vocational school in 2015 January, and in April we had this devastating earthquake. So after the earthquake, I mean, the demand of skilled workers went so high. So even a lot of construction workers were stealing our skilled workers. It's not only the demand is it's over demanded, and even they are stealing my workers, and I don't have anything against it. So because we are producing more and more, so the demand at the moment is very high. That's why we were forced to start a second vocational school, which we are already doing.
So you said like only not even more than 1% of houses where like we were able to reconstruct in traditional way, like when talking about those houses that were destroyed during earthquake.
Yeah.
Like you said, we had chances to build 6 lakh more houses in traditional way, but then we couldn't save it. We couldn't do even a 1% of it.
Yeah,
So why?
unfortunately, you said 6 lakhs, but I think the Nepal Reconstruction Authority is talking about 9 lakhs. No, okay, okay, forget about 9 lakhs. So let's talk about 6 lakhs. So the even 1% of 6 lakhs uh, would have been how much? It's 6,000. No, so not forget about 6,000. Not even 600 houses are built in traditional style. No, so not even 0.01%. So it's really painful. No, because I mean, you just imagine if only 6,000 houses would have been built in traditional style, and a cluster of 60 beautiful houses would be already a tourist destination. If we would have built only 6,000 houses in traditional style, we would have created 100 new tourist destination. The landscape is everywhere is beautiful in Nepal. So if you just put the houses in traditional style, I mean, it becomes really a hot cake for the tourists now. So it's really unfortunate that it couldn't happen, but still, we have been working in three different places in Hading, Sindhu, Palchuk, and Kabri, and I can already promise you now that all these three places are going to be the tourist destination in future.
So where do you think we felt so? Like I mean,
No,
why do you think people are pessimistic when it comes to traditional houses? I mean, yeah,
no, I
why
mean
do they concrete houses?
it's policy. It's also maybe it's not. We were not lobbying enough like others, or I mean, or we were not able to bribe enough like others. I don't know. Like we went to the authorities, we went to the municipalities, and also village development committees, and we offer them our service for free. So even though we couldn't achieve much, so only the projects which we took in our hand, we could do it. Otherwise, um, we couldn't convince others.
So, like, have you what's the response from Nepal governments, or like, have you ever received any kind of help from Nepal government, and like,
No, no,
what are your expectations in work when it comes to whatever
no,
you are doing?
already from the beginning, in the very beginning, they made the model of model houses for reconstruction. So can you imagine, there wasn't the stone, mud, and wood house at all. And so I went there, I talked with the engineers, and they say, yeah, it was prepared by the funding of JICA, and they didn't accept it, so that's why we didn't put it now. And I challenge them, so without without mud, stone, and wood house, for at that time they were talking about 5 lakhs houses. And I told them, we without stone, mud, and wood houses, you won't be able to build even 10% houses, and which they realize later on. No, and later on, even you could hear the advertisement saying, "Oh, let's use the local materials," but it was not that in the beginning. No, in the beginning, can you imagine? I had to fight uh, to put stone, mud, and wood house as a model. In the first model house, it was not included. So that's how the situation was at that time. No? And I told you about this Tempathang village where we supported. So I mean, you have to walk 2 days to reach there. No, so forget about taking the cement and steel to that place. And even if you take there, no one can afford it. So what is the possibility? The only possibility is stone, mud, and wood. But the failure was the I mean, almost all the houses were cracked, and they were broken, because unfortunately they were not built properly when they were built. No, so our traditional technology was missing in these houses. So okay, we were there to teach this. No, and as I have already told you, we have enough examples that the mud houses are also earthquake resist. And so this the government would have facilitated the technology, and the villagers would have built their houses themselves. No, so and which would have been beautiful. And as we have been talking about sustainability, I mean, what can be more sustainable than using the local materials? And and if they would have built in traditional style, more than 50% materials they could have reused from their demolished houses now. So and all the house would have been reconstructed even already within 3 years. And now we are uh, already 5 years now, and the houses haven't been still reconstructed.
Yes, I think there's a question in chat box from Nirmal Khatri, and it's the same topic that we are talking about right now. How do you see the role of Nepal government in your this cultural and heritage transforming and conservation work? How do you see the
Yeah,
role of Nepal government in this cultural and heritage? Okay.
uh, yeah,
Yes,
the role. Yeah, the role of the government would be the most important role. No, and we even have a department of our archaeology, who's who's supposed to be doing all these things. But I mean, you won't even find one person staff in the department who knows about traditional architecture. No, so they are just zagire over there. No, so and of course, and this is not in only in Department of Archaeology. It's in all the most of the government institutions. They are corrupt. No, so uh, to save our identity, you have to love this country, and you have to love the architecture of this country. So without that, you won't do the things properly. If you want to earn the money, then you forget about the sustainability and identity. So you have to love the country.
So,
I think there's one more question is um,
I'll read it for you. So, um, I mean, I'm not trying to defend the concrete houses, but then when it comes to traditional houses, I mean, when we some restrictions, like I don't know, it's restriction is a proper word, but it comes with few criterias, like the wall are generally thick,
yeah,
of like 30 32 inch, and um, it's
no, 30,
in
32
this
inches
time.
is not needed. you know
So
like if we like build 4 stories houses which is anyway our tradition. Actually, we don't have more than 4 words for the floors. It's chiri, matan, chota, buigal. So there are only 4 words. We don't have more than 4 words for a house. So and that's how one should build in Nepal, because we all know that Nepal is an earthquake endangered country. So you know and this architecture was evolved here. Like if we talk about Kailash Kot, which was built by Angshu Burman, that someone says it must have been 7 stories or 9 stories. But later on, it proved that in our geographical situation, we shouldn't have more than 4 stories houses. So that's how our traditional architecture teaches us. So for the 4 stories houses, you have to have the 22 inches of wall in the ground floor, and 18 inches in the first floor, and 14 inches in the second floor, and again 14 inches in the third floor. So you were saying 32, that but it's not necessary. The we have okay, that's the you can't have everything. So if you have thick wall, first of all, it's earthquake resist. So if you build a house with 22, 18, 14, and 14 inches, it's proven that it's earthquake resist. That's one thing. Second thing is it does such a good insulation. It's soundproofing. So which is also very important for a house. So uh, the in modern architecture they are using all sorts of chemical or artificial materials, but why not use natural materials and make a beautiful and practical house. So somewhere you have to make compromise, but I would rather build a house in traditional style than having a little bit more space, but for that you are using artificial and chemical materials.
yeah, so but I was trying to say in terms of urban area where we have this very small spaces, and I mean small land, and people need to optimize those spaces. So also, sir, like when it comes to traditional architecture or building with traditional architecture, it comes with the room restrictions. Room restriction, I mean the size restrictions. Like we cannot do more than we cannot go on for more than 9 feet room span, because of the limitations in the wood size and beam and all. So how do you justify that also?
No, no, so that's why you have to come to visit me and my projects. Then I will explain you. Actually, there isn't any room restrictions. No,
Really?
you can no. I will show you. No, there are ideas how you can do it. No, but mm, okay, I already told you, you can't have everything. No, and there is a say in Nepali, chichi chichi pani papa pani, you can't get. No, so the main thing is we are the subject sustainability and identity were given by you. and okay, and now the main agenda of the whole world is sustainability, and the traditional architecture guarantees that, for local materials, natural materials, and you can recycle them, like we used to have a earthquake in every century. In every earthquake, more than 50% materials were always reused, more than 50%. No, and did we do that after this earthquake this time in 2015? No, not at all. I mean, we we threw most of the. I mean, I think we haven't even recycled 1% of the material, whereas till 1934, so that was our last devastating earthquake, more than 50% material were reused. And it's not only about recycling, and it gives you still the charm of the traditional architecture when you reuse the materials, and so that's also another important part of our traditional architecture, that you can recycle the materials.
Yeah, I mean, these are the questions and these are the issues that we generally face when it comes
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, of
convincing
course.
the client during professional practice. So that's why I was asking you.
Yeah.
I think June was saying that he has some questions. June,
Yes.
if you want to ask, you are free to ask.
Please.
Yeah, sure. Namaste, sir. Uh,
uh,
thank you for your wonderful presentation and sharing your experience. My questions is related to our professional practice in architecture. As an
yeah,
architect, it's very difficult to convince client to build a traditional building. So while we see our traditional buildings, um, all 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 appreciate them. Nobody says that this is not good. But when it comes to build your own house in a traditional way,
yeah.
then it's quite difficult. So how could we deal these things?
Yeah, okay. So, so what is the main question? Is it the issue of materials, or is it the issue of human resources, or as Pragyaji was saying, the
Uh,
issue of space? So you have, please ask me specifically, then I can also give you specific answer.
yeah, it's about they are more appreciating the concrete building with
Yeah,
2.5 story, 3 story building with ground floor as a rental space.
yeah.
So, so is it possible to replace this trend with our traditional buildings?
Yeah, yeah, like so we have been also constructing commercial building, which we also do in the frame structure, but still with traditional style. So commercial building, you have to make compromise. Even we are making compromise, but as I told you, but it doesn't matter whatever we build, it's always gives you traditional touch or traditional style, but if it comes to the residence, the residence means the house is a place where you spend more than 50% of your life, so it has to be healthy first of all,
Yes,
you
sir.
know
Yes.
and it has to be earthquake resist, it has to be beautiful, it has to be peaceful, it has to be cool in the summer and warm in the winter, so, and our traditional architecture can offer you all these comforts, so that's the main thing. I mean, I even can't imagine to live in a concrete building, because I will be suffering there, because I'm already used to live um, in a traditional house, so uh, and the traditional architecture mostly is chemical free. You don't have to use any artificial materials, and anything um, which has chemicals. So
Yes.
and it has been proven now more and more. For example, all the concrete buildings are painted, and okay, which I have seen in in Germany during my study. So you have the painting has got always lead, you know, and which is very harmful. It's harmful for everyone, but especially for the children, you know. So I mean, how can you raise your children in a poisonous house? You know, so you know all the now in the Western world now they are getting more and more concerned about chemicals, but in our country we haven't even thought of it. So uh, and okay, our ancestors also never thought of it, but what they have created, what they have done is chemical free, and so we are just following it.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Actually, I have one question, sir.
Yes,
Like,
please.
uh, when we, especially in case of Bhaktapur municipality and all, there's a compulsory rule of having this facade in traditional way, but
Yeah,
inside, at least facade should be constructed in traditional, I don't know how to say, traditional look and all. But
yeah,
then inside, the building is all reinforced concrete, and
yeah,
everything is all about concrete. So, what do you? And I think it's very misleading for our future
exactly.
generation.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, what's your opinion on this? On this, just dressing up of these buildings, but then inside it's nothing related to traditional or nothing to our traditional values and all. So, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, okay. I I accept these buildings as something is better than nothing. No, so instead of you know you know a building with vomit green blue and with this pink color, no, it's better, far better than the colorful buildings if you have at least the facade in traditional style. No, but that's not Newari style. No, can you imagine there are more than 200 words in Newari architecture. No, I mean for every brick you have the name. It's Naga, Koshimo, Maapa, Dachiapa, Living, Shaw. So there are so many different names for the bricks. And if it comes to the stone, then Tepu lo, Paul lo, Ball lo, Hekang lo. So there are so many again words for the only for the stone. And for the wood, no, you have Lakanshi, Thang, Tulang, Mate, Nilo, Doling, Kolapu, Pyoshi, Joshi. So, I mean, so there are more than 200 words which which are architecture, Newari architecture specific. So, if you show these concrete buildings, you can't even use 10 words out of these 200 words. So what I want to say is it's such a rich culture. No, so I mean, the Newari architecture is not just a facade. It's from it starts from the foundation and it goes till to the roof, and it has got meaning. It has got its technical function, and it's as I told you, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so um, I mean healthy. No, and there are so many things about Vastu. Vastu is not a superstition. It's also a science. So I mean, it's so rich. It's so scientific. And it's all gone. So it's as you have already told. It's so misleading. Uh, as I told you, I prefer rather that than the colorful buildings. But it's not our traditional architecture. And especially here in Bhaktapur, uh, only this the Darwa Square, Tomari Square, or Datatre Square are not only the heritage. No? Before the earthquake, there were so many clusters with beautiful traditional houses, but unfortunately, all of them are gone because it was misleading. No? If you just make the facade in traditional style, it's enough, which is not.
So, have you tried anything for this? Like from your own personal level or from your foundation regarding this issue?
Yeah, okay. I mean, all the buildings which we have restored and reconstructed here in Bhaktapur, they all are in typical Newari style, and also there are also few other buildings done by municipality and also Department of Archaeology, which are also in traditional Newari style, but they should have or would have done much more than that, because this is, I mean, if Bhaktapur doesn't do that, then forget about the other municipalities; they wouldn't do that.
Yes, sir. So we have one question from Miss Lena. So, what are your comments on recent construction work of Darbar High School and Rani Pukri?
Like not only in my presentation, I already told you, I mean, I spent more than half a year to save Shingadarwar, because the beauty of traditional architecture is, it's just like if someone got sick, then you don't need to kill the person. You can operate and make him or her alive again. And same thing with our traditional architecture. No, it doesn't matter what. You never need to demolish a house built in traditional style, like Singha Darbar, also like Darbar High School, Bag Darbar, we saved it also, but unfortunately we couldn't save the Rashtra Bank. So all these, if you demolish it once, then it's gone. You can't say that it's not anymore this beautiful historical traditional building. Then it's for me it's more like a Disneyland. If you create something which were you know uh, which is not the same. For example, Darbar High School, and that was the first school in Nepal, and even the Trichandra College, which is the first college of Nepal, was also started in Darbar High School. So historically it was so important, and also the architecture was beautiful, and you could have easily saved it. It was I have visited all these old building and palaces after the earthquake. We could have saved all of them, and with a very little money, we didn't need billions of rupees from foreign countries to restore or retrofit it. No, we could have done that ourselves, but you don't earn money if you restore the or reconstruct, or you restore or retrofit an old building or palace. It's a little amount of money, which is done. There are always people who want to earn money out of every project, and that was not possible.
It should be very much disheartening for you. I mean,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
as an
it
activist.
is. Yeah, no, but still, I don't complain, because like when I started it 20 years ago, uh, I was a madman, because I mean, at least now there is community. There are people like you who appreciate it, which wasn't the case 20 years ago. But and I when I started it, I couldn't even imagine that this is going to be my profession in the life. That was my hobby, and it became the profession. So I don't complain, because the awareness, especially
I
among the
think
young
we are
generation.
having some network problem.
So the awareness among the young generation is so good. I'm really satisfied. But still, if you look at the government and other institutions, how they are treating the heritage, it's really very painful.
So, like, are you optimistic towards the future, sir? How do you see the future when it comes to your mission and vision and like everything, whatever every project that you are undertaking right now?
Yeah, if you are born in Nepal, you have to be optimistic. No, otherwise, you will be frustrated. So I'm optimistic, and I don't see only the bad part. As I have already told you, the awareness is growing day by day, and young people like you are the future of Nepal. And what makes me very happy and satisfied is nowadays the young generation are really taking care of the cultural heritage, and that's very encouraging for me. I mean, forget about the government and this and this corrupt politicians and the um, and the bureaucrats. So that's for me not so important. The important is the young people like you are concerned and aware, and that's very promising.
Actually, we have another question in chat box, but then I think it's something that we have discussed, but still let me read it. There's a trend of designing building with both the composition of modern elements as well as traditional elements, and no doubt the building looks beautiful. But don't you think the actual essence of the ancient architecture deteriorates in such a way? Why don't we promote complete traditional method of construction, as many people considers that traditional building technique are not earthquake resistant?
I mean, this is
Yes,
really, this is totally wrong. When you say traditional building technique are not earthquake resist. I mean, we have so many examples. No, for me, the biggest example is always the Nyata Polar Temple of Bhaktapur. No? So it is the biggest and tallest temple of Nepal, and it has already resisted 4 big earthquakes. No, and not only that, if you go around Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, and Patan, there are 2, 3, 400 years old houses which have uh, resisted the last earthquake of 2015, although they had already resisted the 3, 4, 5 more uh, big earthquakes. No, so actually, which cannot guarantee the modern technology. No, so I mean, I am not an engineer. No, but what I can do is I can just go in the Google and I can see the age of cement. No, so anyone can Google and see the age of cement, which is maximum 70, 80 years, not more than that. And whereas our, I can show you hundreds of buildings which were earthquake resist and were more than 300 years old. So and even more than that, like the Indreshwar temple of Panoti is from 13th century, and it's still standing. So which modern technology can guarantee a building for 800 years?
true, sir. But then, I mean, we were talking about earthquake. So, in the same line, I have one question. Like, if the when it comes to mud building
Ah,
are not that are poorly built, or like let's say that are not earthquake resistant. So when it comes to this kind of building during earthquake, if they don't fall or if they stand still, then it's a good thing. But then if they, in case if they fall down, then the dust and smoke, they cause a kind of heavy suffocation, due to which like there's a chances of having more casualties, which in terms of concrete building doesn't happen. So how, what do you think about it, sir? What's your opinion on that? Also, what about the maintenance cost of traditionally built buildings? What like do you think maintenance costs are high? And
no,
next thing is also like traditional buildings are often, like costlier or expensive to build. What do you compared to concrete buildings? Even the like aesthetic designs, the facade treatment, and all, they really make the cost like a little bit higher compared to the concrete buildings. What's your opinion on all this?
no, okay. I mean, so in last earthquake, a totally wrong message has gone, and that is that the traditional building are not earthquake resist. No, the thing is, for example, let's take the Namunagar. No, if Namunagar wouldn't have been restored, it would have also collapsed. But I
Mm.
restored it, and it is still standing. I mean, in the case of Namunagar, not even a hair crack. No? So what I wanted to say is, so Namunagar is 180 years old, so it has already survived 2 or maybe 3 earthquakes. You know? So, so what I wanted to say is, so if you build a house, there are always certain maintenance. You have to be, even we human beings, we have to take care of um, our health, our body. We have to take shower. It's same thing. The house is also a living thing, and you have to also think about the maintenance. So the most of the houses which were collapsed were not maintained at all, first of all. Secondly, they were always divided on, vertically, which is against the structure. And there were so many houses, the mud house, and you have concrete in the top of the house, no? So, you have a heavy load on your head. So there are there are many causes of why traditional many old buildings collapsed, but there are also good examples like Nyata Pola in Reshwar, or there are so many old buildings here in Bhaktapur, which have already survived 2, 3, 4 earthquakes. So talking about the technology, and so you were saying about this suffocation thing. I mean, myself, I rescued, you know, two two persons from the old. Any problem?
No. I just got the message that like we only have like 8 minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 8 minutes left.
Yeah. Okay. So what I wanted to say is, we could rescue two persons, just moving the brick and the wood, and they were alive. But in a concrete house, like you can't do like that. Either you need the excavator, or you need the crane, or you need the to cutting machine to cut the concrete. So forget about rescuing someone inside a concrete house manually, which we can do easily in the traditional houses. And so the second thing you were talking about, the maintenance. Actually, all the houses which we have built are almost maintenance free. We don't use the color at all. So that means you don't need to color them. No. So what we do is we use the linseed oil in the wood. So in the first 2-3 years, you have to regularly oil them every year. And then after, when when the wood has shocked the oil enough, then you don't need to do it at all. So actually, the houses that we build are maintenance free. And you were talking about the cost. The houses which we build, they are plus minus 4,000 rupees per square feet. So you can calculate yourself, are they cheaper or expensive?
We have a time limitation, so I would like to take the last question that we have here, sir. So your Sangha village project looks really interesting. Can you explain about it a little more? Were there any design restriction imposed by the Nagarpalika while designing it? That's Ms. Helena asking to.
Yeah, okay, that's there we are building a village in traditional style. So that means all the houses are going to be in the traditional style, the architecture, and we are not going to have any shopping mall or swimming pool in this premises. But what we are going to have is Sautara, Tungedhara, temple, Chaitya, Stupa, Pokhari. So it's going to be a village from Middle Age. And regarding the restriction, when we started the project, it wasn't a Nagarpalika. It used to be the Saga Gabisa. And so now we are starting the new buildings, and I guess and hope there isn't going to be any restriction from the Nagarpalika, because it's in the we are sure that after 20, 30, 40 years, even this place is going to be the World Heritage Site.
So I think we just have like 5 minutes left. It was really nice of you, sir, to come and join us again, despite of the interruption in the meet. And yes, like someone says like, yeah, Miss Sadiksha says, thank you Rabindra sir and organizers for the session. Best wishes for Rabindra sir for his goals to construct 1,000 constructions. Yes sir,
Thank
I
you very
also
much.
pray that may God grant you long and prospered life, that you know, like, not only make your wishes fulfilled, but also make our country really beautiful and
Thank you
set
very
an
much. But
example, another benchmark for us.
thank you very much. But I alone can't do everything. So all of you know, I mean, like we are so blessed, this country. I mean, actually, the culture and the nature. These are the things which you can't buy with the money. But we have so much of culture and nature in this country. So I mean, if we just need to manage it properly, then we can be uh, the richest country in the world, because only we are economic backwards, and by marketing our culture and nature, we could have so much tourists in this country. So and what we have, the culture and nature, the most of the country in the world, they don't have it. So uh, we just need to be prosperous, then we have everything, and we can enjoy it, and we can earn money by other letting it enjoy. So yeah, our generation and your generation has to work hard, and then we can make our country one of the richest in the world.
That sounds really inspiring, sir. Yes, like, we are at the end of the session. Thanks to everyone who again rejoined us and are with us right now. And special thanks to you, sir. Like I already said, thank you for rejoining us. And we are extremely sorry for those who were with us before session. Actually, we will. This is a lesson learned for us. We will be extremely cautious from next time on. We will. So yeah. I think that's the end of the session. We have recorded this session, and we will upload it in the YouTube channel of Aankura, and yeah, obviously we will post about it so that everybody who ever missed this session can see it later on, and also for our own future references. We will try to reconnect with you, sir, with more specific queries and like specific topics to discuss with you, because we feel like this is not being enough, and we have loads to learn from you. So yes, thank you so much, sir, and thank you to everybody participating right now. We have more webinars coming on all the different issues around the world. And yes, please try joining us in incoming webinars as well. And I think it's time to wrap up now. Even the time says so. Like, it's we just have 1 minute left. So yes, thank you so much, and have a good time ahead. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Okay.